Running a business comes with a lot of what-ifs. But luckily, there's a simple answer to them. Shopify. It's the commerce platform behind millions of businesses, including Thrive Cosmetics and Momofuku, and it'll help you with everything you need. From website design and marketing to boosting sales and expanding operations, Shopify can get the job done and make your dream a reality. Turn those what-ifs into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Your burger is served, and this is our finest Pepsi Zero Sugar. Its sweet profile perfectly balances the savory notes of your burger.
That is one perfect combination. Burgers deserve Pepsi.
¿Hablas español?
Sprichst du Deutsch?
Kann du Norsk?
If you used Babbel, you would. Babbel's conversation-based techniques teaches you useful words and phrases to get you speaking quickly about the things you actually talk about in the real world, with lessons handcrafted by over 200 language experts and voiced by real native speakers. Babbel is like having a private tutor in your pocket. Start speaking with Babbel today. Get up to 55% off your Babbel subscription right now at babbel.com/Spotify. Spelled BABBEL.com/Spotify. Rules and restrictions may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
BTW, FYI. Visit Nexplanon.com RN to learn about Nexplanon. It's an adjustable implant, 68 milligrams radio pain. Or ask your HCP IRL. Okay, TTYL.
This episode is brought to you by Greenlight. Get this. Adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
This episode is brought to you by Polestar. There's only one true way to experience the all-electric luxury SUV Polestar 3, and that's to take a test drive. It can go from 0 to 60 in as little as 4.8 seconds with the dynamic handling of a sports car. But to truly understand how it commands the road, you need to be behind the wheel. Up to 350 miles of range, the 3D surround sound system by Bowers & Wilkins. It's all something you have to experience to believe. So book your test drive for Polestar 3 today at polestar.com.
Close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
And breathe.
Oh, sorry. I almost couldn't breathe when I saw the discount they gave me on my first order. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today to save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.
Rated T for Teen.
Each year, thousands of adults lose their shred. It's an epidemic simply known as shred loss. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because rekindling your shred is as easy as playing the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. With new parks, cross-platform multiplayer, and sick new game modes, we can put an end to shred loss everywhere. Get the new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 and show the world that the shred's not dead. Pre-order Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 and play the Foundry demo.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
Why you can't move on. Understanding the psychology behind unfinished tasks abstract. This article explores the psychological phenomenon known as the Zeigarnik effect, which explains why unfinished tasks persistently occupy our thoughts and mental resources. Drawing on cognitive research and organizational psychology, the authors investigate why our brains become fixated on incomplete work and offer evidence-based strategies for leaders to manage this tendency. The discussion examines how interruptions, context switching.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Knowing you could be saving money for the things you really want, like that dream house or ride, is a great feeling. That's why the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you save when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab, LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
Hey, business owners, we know you know the importance of maximizing every dollar. With the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business American Express card, you can make your expenses work just as hard as you. From afternoon coffee runs to stocking office supplies and even team dinners, you can earn miles on all your business expenses. Plus, you can earn 110,000 bonus miles for a limited time through July 16th. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve Business Card. If you travel, you know. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply. Offer ends 7/16/25.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Negative emotional associations and lack of cognitive closure contribute to mental preoccupation with unfinished business. By understanding these mechanisms, leaders can implement practical approaches, including dedicated focus time, formal closure processes, and emotional reframing techniques to help themselves and their teams effectively complete tasks, transition between priorities, and optimize both productivity and mental well-being in today's demanding work environments where competing responsibilities constantly vie for attention. We all experience it, that nagging feeling that something is unfinished, incomplete, or still needs to be done. Whether it's a looming deadline, a hanging chore, or an unresolved work issue, our brains have a way of constantly bringing unfinished tasks to the forefront of our minds. As organizational leaders facing endless to-do lists and responsibilities, effectively managing and prioritizing tasks is crucial. Yet many of us struggle with moving on from unfinished business and fully focusing on other priorities. Why does our brain get stuck on unfinished tasks? And how can understanding the psychology behind it help us be more productive? Today we will explore the cognitive and behavioral reasons why we struggle to let go of unfinished work, and share practical strategies leaders can use to complete tasks and better manage their mental bandwidth. The Zeigarnik effect, explained one of the primary reasons our brains dwell on incomplete tasks is known as the Zeigarnik effect. Named after psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, who first identified the phenomenon in the 1920s. The Zeigarnik effect refers to our brain's ability to better remember interrupted or unfinished tasks compared to completed ones, Tobias and Everson. 2009. Zeigarnik found that waiters in a restaurant had an easier time recalling food orders that were still waiting to be served versus fulfilled orders. Numerous subsequent studies have confirmed this effect across various contexts and activities. According to cognitive theories, when a task is unfinished, our brain continues to allocate cognitive resources like attention and working memory towards it to drive us to completion. This helps ensure survival by motivating us to finish dangerous or important tasks like finding food or finishing a shelter. However, in today's information-overloaded work environments, it can lead to distractions and being mentally stuck on lingering to-dos instead of focusing on new priorities. Managing interruptions and context switching. One factor that contributes to the Zeigarnik effect is frequent interruptions and context switching between tasks before completion. When we are pulled away from an activity prematurely, our brain continues associating resources with the unfinished business in anticipation of resuming it. According to neuroscientists, each context switch requires cognitive effort and mental reset that breaks our concentration. Gonzalez and Mark. 2004. Further, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully refocus on a task after an interruption. According to a study published in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, Lee et al. 2016. No wonder our inboxes, tasks apps, and random reminders from colleagues keep drawing us back to incomplete work. As organizational leaders facing competing priorities and demands, it is important to be mindful of unnecessary interruptions and block dedicated time to focus deeply without interruption. Establishing clear periods of uninterrupted work, minimizing non-critical notifications. Embracing a heads-down approach and setting boundaries can help reduce the psychological impact of interruptions on focus and productivity. Using closure strategies to find mental resolution. While some degree of the Zeigarnik effect is useful for driving progress, not all unfinished work requires constant cognitive resources. Leaders must develop strategies to find cognitive closure on tasks and projects in order to fully shift mental bandwidth elsewhere. According to cognitive closure theory, we are motivated to reach conclusions and feel resolved, as uncertainty and ambiguity cause psychological discomfort. Kruglansky and Webster. 1996. Taking time for reflection and review at the conclusion of significant tasks or stages can help our brain perceive the work as complete and relieve this discomfort. Strategies like summarizing learnings, formally closing out projects, celebrating milestones, documenting next steps, and visualizing handoffs provide the cognitive signals our brain needs to let go. Organizations can encourage these behaviors by instituting review and retrospective processes as standard operating procedure. For example, many tech companies use postmortems after major launches or changes to reflect on successes, failures, lessons learned, and anything left undone that requires follow-up. These sessions serve as bookends that help teams and individuals achieve psychological closure. Leaders should role model and promote intentional closure habits such as summarizing email threads, formally parking projects before moving to new initiatives, and establishing defined end dates for tasks instead of open-endedness that breeds unfinished mentalities. Structuring work for closure will enable teams to fully clear their mental slates and channel full attention elsewhere. At Anthropic, an AI safety startup, teams use retrospectives after each 2-week sprint to reflect on goals, progress made, lessons learned, and any lingering responsibilities. These ritualized introspection sessions signal cognitive completion to the teams and allow everyone to mentally reset before embarking on the next phase of projects. Team leads also promote closure by documenting decisions made and action items assigned at the end of meetings, so nothing falls through the cracks. Having established routines to evaluate work and intend closure helps the fast-paced teams avoid psychological tethers to past work. Attaching negative emotions inhibits completion. Another factor amplifying the Zeigarnik effect is associating unfinished tasks with negative emotions like anxiety, frustration, or failure. When we attach intense feelings to incomplete work, It causes our nervous system and memory centers to prioritize resolving the unpleasant state. Bowman et al. 2019. Unresolved issues at work thus take on disproportionate psychological real estate in our minds as we ruminate on resolving stresses to restore equilibrium. However, sometimes tasks sit incomplete due simply to external factors outside our control or lack of necessary resources and bandwidth rather than poor performance. Leaders must help teams reframe unfinished work in neutral, solution-oriented language instead of negatively charged words that breed angst and mental paralysis. Promoting compassion and non-judging self-talk around productivity can allow individuals to dissociate overwhelming feelings from past responsibilities, so they are not psychologically weighed down and better able to focus on new imperatives. Practices like mindfulness meditation cultivate an observational stance that separates one's self-worth from task outcomes, enabling calm prioritization and fluid transitioning between work. At Anthropic, senior engineers emphasize focusing on contributions rather than minor misses or fixes during performance reviews. They encourage team members to reframe any lingering bugs or todos in neutral language like items still in progress, rather than failure-oriented terms. Pairing tasks with supportive accountability partners and making flexible deadlines helps relieve pressure and the attachment of negative emotions to work, allowing for healthier cognitive disengagement when priorities change. Conclusion: understanding why our brains cling to unfinished business provides powerful insights to structure work and teams for increased focus, flow and mental bandwidth. By recognizing how cognitive processes like the Zeigarnik effect and negative emotion influence what captures our minds, leaders can implement strategies to find resolution, reduce interruptions, and promote healthy reframing of unfinished work. Formalizing closure processes, valuing focus over multitasking, and helping teams develop self-compassion cultivates an environment where individuals and groups can seamlessly transition attention between initiatives without mental clutter from the past holding them back. With consistent application of these principles, organizations can optimize productivity while protecting employee well-being in our perpetually busy work lives. We explored the cognitive and behavioral factors that cause our brains to dwell on unfinished tasks through lenses like the Zeigarnik effect, interruptions, negative emotion attachment, and lack of closure. It shared practical strategies organizational leaders can implement to help teams and individuals achieve psychological resolution on past work, protect focus, and fluidly shift mental resources to new priorities. Examples from tech companies demonstrate tactics like retrospective meetings, reframing language, and accountability partnerships that cultivate focused flow and creativity over distraction and paralysis from lingering to-dos. Optimizing how we and our teams manage both externally facing work and internal psychological processes unlocks a new level of productivity and well-being in busy work environments dominated by competing demands and priorities.